Welcome to FPB's Meet the Candidates. This Cable 10 series is our opportunity to bring candidates directly to you, the viewer and the voter, so that we can hear from them their views on issues that are important to us. And this is all leading up to the general election on Tuesday, November 6th. Today's guest is Lambert Moore. We have him here. He's the Democratic candidate for Magistrate in the 6th District, Franklin County. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming by. I want to start out, I know you've been around, but there may be some people new in the community who don't know who you are. So why don't you introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you have chosen to run for the fiscal court. Again, you are an incumbent, so you've been around for a while. So even way back then, why you chose to run and then why you continue to want to be on fiscal court.
Okay. My family's been in this county since the early 1800s. I love this community and the people in it. Before I became a magistrate, I never was on the fair board, but I've always volunteered my services, and my family's company always built the pulling tracks and all that, and done other stuff out there too. And when I knew this job was coming available, I knew it would be a good opportunity for me to use my talents and my contacts throughout the community to do good for the community.
So how long have you been on fiscal court?
This is my fourth term.
And how long are the
16
terms?
years.
Oh, wow.
4 each. And in 16 years, I've not missed a regular scheduled meeting.
Really?
Not one.
That's impressive.
Even when I was in the hospital for 4 days with third-degree burns, on the 6th day, I was in a meeting.
Oh, wow.
So I'm committed.
That's commitment for sure. Yeah. So why don't you tell us what area the 6th District covers?
It's well, I use my hands, I guess, a lot.
Sure.
From I-64 west, all the way around to the river, Ball Knob, Bridgeport, St. John's Precinct, Bell Point. Okay. Come down 60 to Vicky Way. And then I've got the courthouse precinct downtown, come across the river for that, and then up East Main, a little bit of K-State, Hickory Hills. Used to have one more in Franklin Heights, but the last census they took that away from me. So.
Okay, well, it's a large area.
It's about half the county.
Oh wow! so that's big. That's big responsibility.
It's bigger than any of the other three combined, and that's why we have so much bridge problems in my area. I've had 12 or 13 bridges replaced in those 16 years.
Oh wow!
And got 2 on the books right now that are paid for and ready to go. Just getting everything worked out.
Yeah. So as a magistrate, some people might not know what are the responsibilities of a magistrate.
Well, we work with the judge executive to run the business of the county. I mean, he runs the county, and we do the budgets and the ordinances. And if you have a problem in your area, you call your magistrate, and they address it, or call whoever's responsible, if it's the state or the county or the city, and try to get that taken care of. And I've been very successful at building relationships within the state road department and the city road department. I've been able to get stuff done.
Okay, well, I was going to ask you.
And the county.
So what experience have you had in the past that has helped you in your job and your responsibilities as a magistrate? Well,
I've been in the construction business all my life. I've built roads and taken up roads and built buildings, or not built buildings, but done the foundation work for buildings. I know about foundations and bridges and roads and finances and trees in your way. I know. I just my background's been very good. They've looked to me at fiscal court to answer questions on specific things to that area.
Well, you mentioned the bridges earlier. So, what would you consider the biggest issue in the 6th District right now?
Well, one that we've been working on is bridges. We've got some pretty good bridges, but we don't have the designs on them. and I think I brought this up last time I was in here. Back in the 50s, they built these bridges. They were standard design, but we can't find the designs, and the state needs to know how much steel is in those, and so I've talked to 10 different people at the state, but I've gone to the top and found somebody that's going to assign somebody to find these designs. So hopefully we'll get something done there.
Well, okay. Well, a question I have for our magistrate candidates that come in here, because they're all representing a district.
Sure.
So do you think it's more important for magistrates to focus more on their district or the county as a whole and their responsibilities?
Well, their first responsibility is their district.
Okay.
And of course, the tower was in my district, and all that's going on down there is my district. So
Yeah.
I was at the forum that City Visions had, and unfortunately I couldn't stay the whole time. So I had some questions, but
Sure.
they talked about removing a lot of trees, and you can't just remove trees on the riverbanks and expect the riverbank to stay there. So I had a lot of questions there, but I didn't get to answer.
Okay.
Ask them.
Well, that was going to be my next question is, have you looked at the proposed plan from City Vision?
Oh, yeah.
Is it something that you support?
Yes, I do, but
Okay.
I have those questions.
Well, yeah, sure, obviously.
And another thing that they were saying, that started off their presentation saying that the tower caused downtown Frankfort's demise, and that's not really true. It was the East-West Connector and the Plaza Connector and all the good development out in the
Sure.
county that pulled everyone out of the city.
Outside.
And if a lot of people don't remember what traffic was like before the East-West Connector. I do. It was horrible. It was backed up to Spaghetti Junction coming down East Main.
Yeah.
Louisville Road would be backed up past Juniper Hills, and Lawrenceburg Road would be backed up to the bowling alley.
Right.
So,
That's an interesting point. I'd never thought of that.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
So progress caused the downtown Frankfort's problems, and I think we have some ideas that are going to help
Okay.
get people down there. This new state office building is going to help.
Right. Well, with a lot of new ideas comes the need for new money. So do you have any idea for funding mechanisms for this project?
Well, on a good note, the economy is looking up. Our occupational taxes already, like I predicted, are up, and so and that was one statement I made when they wanted to raise the taxes to 4% on property taxes, and so I think things are looking up.
Okay. Well, speaking of the property taxes, I know that the fiscal court has voted to increase the taxes, as well as I know the public and city school districts both have done that, and city commission is preparing to vote to increase taxes. I'm assuming this is because of the increased amounts that we're asking to put into the pension.
It is,
yeah.
and as you probably know, I was against that vote, and I it ended up they wanted 4%, and they settled at 2% because of mine and Squire Booth and Squire Tracy's push to go for a lower amount, and I think that the revenues will be there. I think with the economy, if it doesn't take a downturn with all the political stuff that's going on, I think it'll all work out.
Okay. Well, I was reading in the paper the other day that as far as Franklin County's property tax rates are triple what they are in Scott County.
Scott County doesn't have a fire department.
I was going to ask why there's such a disparity.
Doesn't have trash pickup.
Yeah.
And that's $1.4 million in trash
Right.
pickup, and the fire department is astronomical too. And they do have they do. The volunteer fire departments are not free. They have to pay for that too, and that's not reflected in their county budget.
Oh, it's not.
No, it's a separate thing.
Okay.
And I think Scott County may have a fire department, but I think we're probably the only two counties in the state that have a county fire department.
I see. So, with these increases, is there anything that we can do as a community to generate more revenue so that we can minimize future tax increases?
Well, you can start recycling more, and that recycling doesn't pay like it did, but at least it's keeping it out of the landfill.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. And I hope that we can keep that free garbage pickup. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
I remember when we didn't have that and had dumpsters everywhere and rats. And,
Oh gosh.
it was bad. I talk like an old guy, don't I?
That's fine. That's experience.
Yeah. It is.
Well, I want to ask you about Farmdale. It's an issue that is at the fiscal court. What more can the fiscal court do to address what is really a health crisis now that's posed by Farmdale Seward?
Well, like what we've been working with the sewer board out there, trying to help them in any way we can, and that's what needs to continue. And we can help with grants, and like we did Shopeville. When I came on, we did Shopeville had the same problem.
Yeah.
And it was in the works before I came in, and people were fussing about it out there. And I knocked on a door, and the lady was fussing. We don't want those sewers. I said, lady, your kids are out there playing in a ditch. That's not rainwater.
Yeah.
And she said, "You kids get in here."
Yeah, that's not healthy.
Yeah, it was. We had that same problem, and we addressed it and we fixed it. Farmdale is it's different because it's further from the city, and it's either going to take a big trunk line or a plant.
I see.
And
that costs money.
That costs money.
Yeah.
Lots of it. But once they get sewers out there, that end of the county is going to come alive.
Oh yeah, absolutely. In the primary, candidates in all of the races commented about our community and about our stagnant population growth here in Franklin County. So they also talked about the need for positive change to spur growth. What do you think that change looks like?
Well, stagnant population, it might look bad on paper, but Anderson County and Lawrenceburg is our bedroom community. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people go over there and live, but they come here and work. And that's where the money comes in, is the jobs, the occupational taxes, and the businesses that are creating here because of the surrounding counties that are in the own counties, the same thing. Mm-hmm. Frankfort, if you talk to, and I'm out there all the time, you talk to truckers, they love our industrial park system here because it's right off the interstate, easy to get to, and yeah. It's, but we're about filled up.
Yeah. Another question I have for you is about the Frankfort Plant Board. And I know while it would take a change in legislation, do you think the county judge and the fiscal court should nominate and appoint members to the Frankfort Plant Board?
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of the plant board's business is in the county, and we don't have any say about it. So they absolutely should.
So is that something that you would be willing to pursue?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you consider the top concerns, or have you heard of the top concerns, particularly from the business community, that you think the fiscal court should address in this next term?
Finding workers.
Yeah.
Monoplast's got 900 employees. They'd hire another 900 if they could find them.
Yeah.
The opioid crisis and the heroin is a lot of problems in this county, and the sheriff's office has been working towards fixing that. I don't know if there is a fix for it.
Well, I was going to ask you. Those are actually my next two questions.
The health department is on it too. But.
Yeah. My next two questions are that our local economic development group tells us that the availability of skilled labor is a major obstacle in attracting new businesses here to our community. So what can local government do to help grow our workforce, not only in size, but in skill?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid. We've tried to work with the schools to the vocational school is a great thing. I mean, they're bringing kids coming out of there go right into welding jobs and nursing and computers and auto mechanics.
I've toured that school. It's amazing.
I have too.
Yeah.
They're doing great things there.
Yeah.
Frankfurt High's doing great things with their programs too.
Absolutely. And do you think we should just be encouraging more things like this? Is there anything that we can do to put money into programs like that? Again, it always comes back to money.
Yeah, it's always, it does. Education on the harm of drugs is, drugs is what's killing the communities.
Well, that was going to be my next question. That another issue is that even if businesses find skilled workers, a lot of times they don't pass a drug test.
Right.
So, do we have something going on to address that issue?
Not at fiscal court. I mean, of course, we work with the health department in the schools, but
sure. Just something maybe that the fiscal court could look into. You mentioned the sheriff's office.
Oh yeah, of course they just always need more money.
Right, exactly.
More guys.
Exactly.
And it's just not there.
Well, in the 6 months since we last did Meet the Candidate interviews, I know, have you had the opportunity to get out in your community to meet a lot of your constituents? I know you've been in office for a while, so you know your constituents, but have you learned anything about the people of Frankfurt just actually during your term?
Oh, yeah, everywhere I go, people tell me what's going on with them and their lives and what they need, and that's what I'm here for.
Right.
I make the calls to take care of it. Sometimes I take care of it myself.
Well, it's an advantage of being an incumbent is that you have experience of being on the court. Yeah. So you want to. It's
a disadvantage too. You get all the blame.
But you can get the accolades. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to share with us some of the achievements that have happened during your tenure on the court.
Well, new fire station, the sheriff's office, the bridges I talked about, and a lot of those we didn't have to pay for. We had a terrible storm. It was September 22nd, 2002, that wiped out 2 bridges on Stony Creek.
Oh wow!
And FEMA replaced those bridges. So,
okay. So some good things to talk about.
Yeah.
Do you think the fiscal court, as a public government body, is adequately transparent?
I think so. Yeah. When I came in, we didn't have cameras in the work session, and I was a little apprehensive about that because I was afraid, during campaign times, magistrates would be showboating, and well, I've seen some of that, but it's a good thing. It opened up, showed people what we'd go through in there.
Do you see any future opportunities for being more transparent?
Yeah, it's always there. I mean, we try to be upfront with everything.
Sure. Are there any decisions on steps the fiscal court has taken that, looking back now, you would have done differently as a magistrate?
Always, you always second guess things, but I like to go forward. I don't like to harp on the past.
Okay. So tell me your favorite thing about Frankfurt.
Oh, wow. Just the people, the way it lays, everything. Frankfurt's a unique community. Franklin County's got only one town in the whole county, and most, like Shelby County's got several.
Right.
And we're one of the few counties that the river runs through it instead of the border of it. When I travel away and I come back into Kentucky, I just, in all of the beauty of Kentucky.
Right.
And Frankfurt's right in the middle of it.
You mentioned the river. Do you think it's important to focus some efforts on riverfront opportunities
Sure.
to draw in tourism, to generate some more revenue.
Sure.
Okay. So what's your least favorite thing about Frankfort, and how would you change it?
My least favorite thing about Frankfort. Gosh, I don't want to talk bad about our town.
But it's not really bad. It would be an opportunity for you to address it as a magistrate.
Yeah.
Or you can go ahead and tell me, as a magistrate in this new term that you're going to have if elected, what are some goals you want to champion for Frankfort?
Well, the least thing would be the politics here, is what I was going to say. You know, you always have the parties fighting over stuff, and they, behind closed doors, they're probably best friends. but out in the open, they bash each other.
I think that's the nature of the game.
Yeah. That's not good.
Yeah. So as looking to a new term, and you've had several, is there something new, some new goal that you would have going into 2019?
Well, I mean, we've got the Crab Orchard Bridge that we've got the money, federal money on this one to build a new bridge.
So is there a timeline on that?
It is, but it's way out there. I mean, it's in design now, and it's just that stuff takes time.
Right.
And the Farmdale sewer stuff, and you know, if we get sewers out 62 is something I've been trying to push for.
There's opportunities for growth there.
When they developed the old Bridgeport School, they ran a sewer line from there to the Frankfort Sewer Department, and we tried to get them to put a bigger line in to pick up, and it was federally funded, so they couldn't do that. So that was bad. But we're working on something else now to try to get a sewer line down through there.
Okay, that sounds great. Well, now I'm going to give you an opportunity for a closer, for you to address our viewers, who are also our voters, directly, and tell them why you're the best candidate in your race and why they should vote for you on November 6th. So you can look right there.
So I got to talk about myself for a while.
Talk about how awesome you are.
I'll let somebody else do that.
Okay.
But I've worked hard to take care of my constituents within the budget, and I've had those contacts in the state and the city and the county road departments to take care of their problems, and I've been fiscally responsible for keeping our budgets down, you know, so we don't have to do these tax increases. You know, people say, well, you know, just one vote, but my voice has been heard, and if we've done a tax increase, it would have been more without my voice. Even though I was a no in the long run, I've kept those taxes down and taking care of my constituents in the best that I can. And have I probably missed something? I'm sure I have. Somebody see you out and tell you about a problem, and you don't write it down right then, or I probably missed a few things like that. But I try to take care of every problem I can. When they built the splash park, I tried to get them to reuse the water, and they said, "Oh no, we can't do that. We can't do that." Well, now, when we got the sewer bills for $8,000 a month, they decided to go to the state, and the state said, "Oh, that's a great idea." So I can say I was right all along on that. So I work hard at my job. My family supports me 100%. If I didn't have my brothers backing me up at work, I couldn't be off as much as it takes a lot of time to do a good job at this. And I've got well over 2,000 hours of continuing education to make myself a better magistrate. So, I'm just here for the people when they need me.
Well, that's great. And we really appreciate you coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
I know that our viewers appreciate learning a little bit more about you. It's Lambert Moore, and he is our Democratic candidate for Magistrate in the 6th District. And to our viewers, was that right, 6th District?
6th District.
Okay, so make sure. To our viewers, I just want to remind you that Election Day is November 6th. Please go vote. It's very important. And when you're done voting, then go home and plan to watch us live on Channel 10 as we have our election coverage from the county clerk's office. And, you know, it's election season, so it's time to get informed. You can voice your choice. And we'll see you next time on Meet the Candidates.